Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? Price is still down a little bit. I wouldn't be concerned. Off a little bit because people you can't control that. You can't control people selling because of the rumor news thing. So that's a little bit down yet, but I wouldn't be concerned because FOMO will come back into the market. Fear of missing out will start to take over again. So no concerns about what's going on with the market. I just look at it as something that can't be controlled. You're just going to have people that sell on news. That's all there is to it. And it's still down a little bit. And I don't think overall for the last 30 days, as I mentioned last night, that it's down. In fact, it's up big over the last 30 days. Crypto market's off just a little bit. No big deal. Just a temporary down time. And I think people are already starting to think that it's going down. The overall market's going down, but no concerns. No concerns for me. No concerns for anybody that sees the big picture. Just a temporary little bit of a downtime. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about what happened to me today. And I talked about, everybody knows, not everybody, but people know that if they've watched my videos, I was traveling last week. I didn't go to the Block 1 announcement in Washington, D.C. I actually had something else to do in the Midwest. I landed in Denver, and I was in the Denver, Nebraska area, Colorado, Nebraska area. And I was out of town for a few days. And today, my middle son wanted to go out and get something to eat, so I went out to eat with him, and I think the meal was $40, $50, and I put my credit card out. Always been money in the account, never not had any money in this account, and it gets declined. And I don't know why it gets declined. And check my account, everything's good. And I realize now that this banking system is in complete chaos because of what happened to me today. Actually, after the card gets declined, I have to call the bank to find out what's going on. My bank account, I bank with Wells Fargo, and I got the most bizarre series of transactions I think I've ever listened to. My bank just randomly starts canceling stuff and accepting some charges and denying other charges for no particular reason. Down to the fact that even this luggage carrier that I rent at the Denver International Airport that didn't get denied because I got the cart. I actually put my credit card in this little slot. The cart came out and I was able to use it and get the use out of it. But at the same time, my bank declined the charge. Some of the charges went through during my trip. Some of them didn't go through. And when I asked the bank what was going on, why they would do this, and mind you, I got the cart, but the charge was denied. So I feel bad because they're not getting the money. I asked the bank, I said, are these charges that get declined, will they not get the money or will they get the money? They said, oh no, we've declined it, they won't get the money, but you just need to verify the charge. You need to acknowledge that you made the charge, and this is on a debit card, so it's not really a charge, but you made the transaction, and then we can go ahead and proceed with making sure that your card's not blocked. But they blocked my card for today. I didn't know it was blocked. Well, actually didn't know it was blocked until I got to the restaurant. Went to pay for the food, and my card's denied. And I then, of course, automatically got on the phone, wondering what was going on. And here it is, you have to verify 20 transactions. And of course, I verified every single one and acknowledged every single one. Said yes, I made those charges, but some of them were denied, some of them were accepted, some of them were. And the whole reason for this whole series of random transactions, denied and accept, denied, accept, was that it was outside of my normal use for this card. I'm not usually in Nebraska. I'm not usually in Colorado. So it just gives this, all of a sudden, their, whatever they track me as doing, completely goes haywire, because now I'm not in Southern California or San Diego anymore. I'm in Nebraska, I'm in Colorado. And so I get this series of random events that they don't know belong to me. And so they just start going on tilt. Accept, deny, accept, deny, accept, deny, accept, deny. And it's just weird. And there's money in the account the whole time. Never has the money ever not been in the account. It's just that the bank decides that they don't want to be liable if somebody stole my card and took off to the Midwest. So they just start going through this bizarre, whatever they did, and just start denying and accepting charge. This can't continue like this. This is a simple, rational thing that people do. They will leave and go out of town for a few days, and your card just can't decide all of a sudden that because that happens, we're just going to start denying charges. This is why I see such a future with some sort of decentralized system as the blockchain, as the Bitcoin or the EOS is. A decentralized system that isn't just scared all the time. Like in this case, Wells Fargo just started running scared. All of a sudden my car is showing up someplace that doesn't usually show up. So let's just start denying charges. Let's just start saying, hey, we don't know what's going on, so we're just going to automatically assume the worst, which is the card has been stolen. Although I don't report it stolen, I don't ever say there's a problem. They just start denying charges. And people that have, like I said, given me a service in Denver, Colorado by allowing me to use a card, didn't get paid because the bank just runs scared and starts doing some really weird stuff. So this is why decentralized systems have got to come into existence for the way we do business today to continue. If it doesn't, this is never going to work. This is not going to work. It's getting worse and worse. And I've talked about this before on my channel, how occasionally I always have to carry 2 or 3 backup cards because I never know when my card's not going to work. And it's always weird because to me, they should always let it work until they hear from me. Because they shouldn't just randomly decide that things aren't going to happen because they're fearful I haven't called them. And see, this is the way the banks work. The banks work on the fact that if I did call them, and the EOS train is blowing through town right now, or we'll be coming through here very soon. This is the slow one too, so here we go. Keep on the EOS train. Don't jump off the EOS train. There we go. I was talking to a friend of mine the other night who lives in this area too, and he also said it's random how they blow the whistle. Sometimes they start with the whistle a long way from here and blow it once or twice. Other times they'll just blow it all the way through. So it's never the same. But anyway, back to my rant, because this is a little bit of a rant. Because of I think there were 15 or 20 charges that I had to acknowledge, and they were the most random series of events you could ever imagine. They'll let a $5 charge reverse, but they'll let a $200 charge go through. They'll allow a $50 to reverse, but they'll allow $151 to go through without any kind of. And I was the one that did the transactions, so I know what I did, and I don't know that one of them was any different than any of the others. It's just they decided to start, pick and choosing which one they let go and which one not to let go. And the other thing too is I kind of was talking to the banker about it, and she was very nice. I mean, she understood what was going on, and she really helped me out. She said, believe me, I completely understand. I'm gonna, let you pay for your restaurant food tonight right away. We'll lift the lock off your charge and off your card and let you get out of that place. But she was really, really nice. But she even said, she goes, well, what happened was you got outside of our normal pattern for your behavior. So I guess I kind of got off the reservation for a little bit. And since I got off of the reservation for a little bit, they decided to start, they decided to make sure that they were going to get back, make sure they didn't have anything that could possibly be some sort of nefarious activity by my half. So I got off the reservation, so they just started deciding just to, randomly take charges off. I don't know. So anyway, the centralized system cannot continue. The decentralized system has to take effect. This is the big picture. This is where we're going. It's not with up and downs because of activity like we've had the last last week, with people thinking news is out, now we need to sell. So the overall blockchain picture is very, very bright because of stories like mine. And I'm sure, and then every time I tell these stories, I always have a bunch of people that tell me, yeah, exactly the same thing happened to them. So we are in the new age of putting things on the blockchain. We're in an age where you can't just have some algorithm kick in with randomness that we don't even understand. And that's what happened, randomness that we don't even understand. And who knows what the algorithm is? There's no way to keep up with it. There's no way for me just to call the bank every time I want to use my charge card or my debit card. I can't do that. I can't say that I'm going to take off this afternoon, drive out to Las Vegas, do a couple charges out in Las Vegas, and have to notify my bank ahead of time that I'm going to Las Vegas to do some charges. I mean, why put your money in a bank? Why not just keep it in your pocket if they're going to do that? Everybody uses this convenience of a debit card or a credit card, but yet now the banks, because of people charging back or because of fraud and people using cards so easily, they're scared to let anybody do it. So anyway, interesting day for me, because it's happened to me before, but I've never had it where I listen to every transaction like I did today and have to accept all these charges and know that there was nothing to the way they were randomly declined and accepted. Pretty interesting to me. So that is why we need the blockchain, and that's why the prices are going up, and that's why we need not to be worried about slight decreases in prices like we've had the last few days. Appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.